I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. It is a Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. We talked to Virginia, who decided to lay up yesterday and go at it pretty soft until she had a gin and tonic, and then apparently had about 12 of those and just really got wrecked.
I do not like gin, by the way.
You don't? Okay.
No.
You tried it?
Yes, I have tried it, and it did not agree with me.
What kind of gin beverage did you have?
I don't know, some bullshit. It was not very good.
Okay. Do you trust the bartender that made it?
It was my girlfriend.
Okay.
So I do trust the bartender.
Okay.
She's not a bartender. She made it at home.
All right. Just not your thing. What kind of mixture did you have with it?
I think was it ginger ale? I don't even remember.
Okay.
Would that ginger ale work on that?
You could. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I liken it, at least the way I know it. I think you can do a lot of kind of the same stuff that you can with a vodka and gin. It's clear, liquor. We got a little bit. I don't do a ton with it. It's my oldest son's favorite. Son Colin. In fact, his dog is named Juniper because the gin comes from the juniper berry.
Oh, okay.
So he really loves it. So, but yeah, I think that's typically what it is. Gin and tonics is the big one that you have with that.
He's like, I had like 11 gin and tonics. That's what Virginia.
I don't honestly. I have no idea how she does it. And the craziest thing is, it just seems like alcohol does not wreck her sleep, which that's what I just don't get. She's got to be a vampire or something, because on Friday, I went and had some beers with my buddy. Had more than what I normally have in a day, but I think I was done by 3 or 4. I may have one beer way later at night. We played putt-putt, and that was in a 3-hour course. I was so tired the next day.
Yeah.
And I shut it down at like 3 or 4. I'm like, gosh, I am so old and so lame that I have a couple more beers than normal, and I shut it down by 4 p.m., and I'm like hungover the next day.
It doesn't, it does the same thing to me.
It's just unreal.
The way she can drink and then go to sleep does not make sense to me whatsoever.
No. I mean, maybe she just does a better job of hiding it, or just, I don't know what it is.
No, I've seen her before. I've seen her drink an entire bar and then take an 18-hour nap. And it's so she's so peaceful.
Yeah, I mean, but I will sleep too, but you just can't get into that quality sleep. You're just not there. And that's what happens to me. I'll even put in the time and be like, I just slept 7 or 8 hours. Why do I feel like a dog's ass? And it's because I'm not getting that same kind of quality sleep that I normally do.
And it's not even throwing up or feeling that nausea. It's the tired.
That's all it is for me. I don't get headaches. I don't get nauseous. I don't get anything. I'm just tired the next day. And I'm like, after on Saturday, I wasn't wrecked at all. But I was just like, I was sluggish. I'm like, gosh, man, how freaking lame am I? I shut it down at 3 or 4 p.m. and I still have like the effects of it. Yeah, it just sucks. It really does. It sucks getting old, dude.
You're telling me.
Yeah, right. Well, not only is it Fat Tuesday, but it is the Lunar New Year, which is the Spring Festival or Chinese New Year. I guess it's the most important holiday in China and other Asian communities as well. So it starts today and it ends with the Lantern Festival on March 3rd. So it sounds like if you are Asian, you get to party here to welcome in the Year of the Horse.
Year of the Horse, baby.
Giddy up. Okay.
What does that mean, the Year of the Horse, I wonder?
Don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I assume it probably has the qualities of what a horse is. Strong, fast, resilient, expensive. I don't know. All properties I think of. But I got this from Panchita, and it's kind of weird how everything's kind of lined up today. Now, I guess Mardi Gras might be a little bit early for this time of year, but I guess it's just all how it works in with Lent, maybe Easter and all that. I'm not even sure I understand how the calendar goes, but you got the Lunar New Year today, Fat Tuesday today, Mardi Gras. Ramadan starts into this evening. That's the Islamic holy month of fasting. Then you've got Ash Wednesday tomorrow.
The holy month of fasting, does that mean you're not eating at all for a month?
I think it's from dawn to sunset. I think for the whole month. Yeah, so you have to eat after the sun goes down, I think is how it works. I'm not too familiar with that holiday, but I believe it's something like that. Now, you were talking about your hip procedure that's going to be happening coming up early March 2nd, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I got this email from Linda. She said, Jbird, my husband and I, my husband just had his knee surgery done. And he said it made a huge difference.
I bet, yeah. That's the problem, too, when you said it earlier, other parts of your body start to fall apart because you're putting so much strain on the one side.
Yeah.
There's a chance, too, I might be a little bit taller or shorter, depending on how it goes, on one leg.
Do you think that's because of the hip, or is it?
They said after the surgery, there's a chance that one of my legs could be slightly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. So if I'm walking in here in a little.
What if you got the other hip done? Does that even it out?
It's a great question. I'm not even there yet mentally.
I got you. All right. Now here is they saw your X-ray that you posted up, many videos, and here's the X-ray. I guess this is after her husband had his knee replaced, and if you take a close look, you can see right there the knee is fixed, and you can see the other knee over there. That would be one that's not fixed if you're watching us on KVJ TV.
And the middle knee, the weenie.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a third leg there that didn't grow all the way down.
Speaking of horse, that looks like a horse's dick.
Well, so you're the horse. Giddy up.
Oh, my goodness.
I got to feel for Linda if that's her husband. My goodness. It's got to be rough for her. She probably needs some kind of replacement as well, but it's probably not a knee.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Let me see here. Question, does Virginia delay the ATS? You guys have been here right after the show this week. No, I don't know. I think it really just kind of depends. Sometimes something will come in. Somebody will have a point or a conversation that they want to do, and depends on how many emails we have. But, yeah, it's moved pretty quick. So, yeah, we've been getting on it. But there's never anything with it. I try to get on it as fast as I can. It's just I never know what's going to come through that door.
Yeah, if somebody comes through the door and starts to talk with us, it's going to be delayed.
Yep. You're like, well, that's 20 minutes. So now I'd seen this going around. There's so much ridiculous stuff. This is the kind of stuff where I've thrown a lot of Epstein stuff at you. In fact, I did pretty much all today's Epstein stuff on the regular show, so I didn't hit you up with it on the ATS again. But this is the kind of stuff I don't get too far into because this is just crazy conspiracy theory stuff, but it's probably legit. Got this from Ortiz. I don't know if you saw this, but when Ghislaine was testifying last week and just pled the fifth on everything, they've got video of her on the left and then they've got video on her on the right. And people have broken down facial features and eye alignment, and they said that was not Ghislaine Maxwell. So they're trying to say that there's, I don't know, I guess a body double in prison, or it was an imposter. I have no idea.
The internet sleuths sometimes get carried away.
Yeah. So like I said, these are the kind of things that I'm like, all right, if it comes back out, I'll come back around to that. Kind of like the devil worship stuff was, the Baal worship and the child sacrifice. When that all came out, then that was a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe even longer, because I think my mom was even referencing that.
What did Mel Gibson say about that? I keep seeing his name pop up going, see, Mel Gibson was telling the truth.
Well, he was out about that probably in the early 2000s, and he was just talking about how satanic the movie industry was. And then you had a movie screenwriter on with Joe Rogan just last week on his podcast, and he was saying, oh, yeah, I don't think he knew anything conclusive, and he didn't name names because he didn't want to get sued. That was his comment. But he said, yeah, they are into devil worship and sacrificing kids and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
That's really dark, and I still would hope that that's not the case. But
wouldn't everybody know about that? Wouldn't that leak out? I'm just asking the question.
Well, yeah, and it did. But getting confirmation and proof and the security and the people that they allow do this, and then you've heard about Harvey Weinstein, you've heard about Jeffrey Epstein, you've heard about all these people that they lean on people. They'll either have you killed, they'll have you silenced, they'll have you blackballed from the industry. And a lot of times to partake, they want you to do something on camera. So if you ever say, I'm going to roll over on you guys and rat you out. They'd be like, you really want to do that? Because your career's over too, and you're going to go to prison. You'll be sitting right next to us.
Yeah, they say there's that humiliation ritual where if all of a sudden you see a celebrity doing some weird shit that doesn't make any sense to you, the rumor is that there's somebody, a group of people trying to embarrass you publicly, and that's the only way you can get out is by doing the embarrassment out.
Yeah.
Some people think Will Smith has gotten a part of a humiliation ritual.
Maybe, and I can't remember. I thought there was another celebrity that was saying just in this last week that they were talking to him about almost kind of joining where the secret society was, and it was some kind of ritual, and he's like, I'm not doing that. And he wouldn't partake. I can't remember which celebrity it was.
And I don't know if that's real or not, but I do hear a lot of people talking about it.
It's sounding more and more realistic. And why this industry got so evil and so perverse, if that is true, that they're into that kind of stuff, like that truly is. That's a different level, man.
Well, think about even as far as back as Wizard of Oz, that time period. They were all treated like such shit during that movie. I mean, bad stuff happened on that movie. And that was way back when. So I think this shit's been going on for a long time. Just a cesspool of bullshit.
Yeah. No, it is. There's a lot of stuff that is out there. It's pretty crazy. And Chris said, with all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff going on, I feel really bad for my buddy whose name is unfortunately Jeffrey Epstein.
That sucks.
He's obviously not the one, but I keep telling him, like, dude, you might want to seriously change your name. And would you? Yeah, I mean, that's just tough. Even Epstein is tough. If you have that, and there are a lot of Epsteins that are out there that have done, they're lovely people, have done nothing at all wrong.
That just, they're the ones that suck, so why do you have to change your name? That ain't fair.
Yeah, but you're not going to change the fact that as soon as anybody hears it, they're immediately going to be like, huh?
Yeah,
they're going to hear that. And there might be people that if you're up for a job and they don't know and they're trying to say, is there any way they could be tied? Could this come back to us? Will this affect us negatively? If you were in business, you would almost have to get rid of the last name Epstein.
I mean, if your name's Jeffrey Dahmer and you're not the Jeffrey Dahmer, I think that you're right. That would bring, some people would view it as bringing bad publicity to your company.
Well, look at what happens now when there's any kind of connection to Epstein. It causes all kinds of problems with business. And, people are out. So if you had the name Epstein, you're applying for a job right now, they'd be like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll go with the other guy named Kruger.
Not Freddie.
Yeah, not Freddie. But, when you're comparing the two.
You're right.
Nobody's going to think he's Freddie Kruger. That's a fake guy. This Jeffrey Epstein's the real deal. Look out. Melissa, she had a question about me. She was hearing me talk about my ideal nutrition. And Denny's has a friend whose teenager was dropping $300 a week on food delivery, $50 a day. It can get away from you. I know my wife is all over it because she's trying to give our teenage son Cannon what he needs to get around and to eat. But at the same time, there's money coming off. Be like, there's no way you used the money for this. You didn't need this much money. And of course, he loves that gambling app, which we're trying to keep him off of. I think, my gosh, that's a fight in and of itself.
I mean, that's potentially a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So I know my wife she has the time, but it is running her ragged trying to stay on top of him and, make sure he's not running loose, free and loose with the money. And he's always got some slick excuse or some story about it's not what you think. And you're like, all right, I don't got time for this.
It is funny you were talking about how some people are ordering when they know it's kind of expensive. They don't want to even look at the price.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't.
You act like it didn't really charge you if you don't physically see the number.
I have done that before.
It's a weird psycho. I've done it too. I don't even want to look. Like it'll just be there and magically the money will just take care of it somehow.
Well, if I got people at the house and I want to cater. It's a lot of times it's easier just to order something like that. So it can get expensive, and when you've got 4 or 5 people there, you're ordering for. I'm not looking at. I can't look at the number.
Oh right,
I can't look at it.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. I just it'll go on my credit card. I'll work it off, and then we'll just call it good. And I'll strap up and not spend as much money here. But Melissa said, just wondering what the Queen, her mom, and Cannon eat if there isn't anything in your fridge. Also, do you keep food in the pantry like chips, crackers, other snacks? Yeah, our pantry is really bleak. Now, like I said, my mother-in-law, she has her own section. She got her own fridge, and she's basically got her own pantry. And so, yeah, she has all kinds of food in that. And I think, Cannon eats off that. It's nothing healthy. And so it's nothing that I touch. So we've got a nice agreement.
What's your mother-in-law's in? What's she into? What kind of snacks?
Her herself, I'm not sure. I think she likes her ice creams and things like that. There's always ice cream, and she seems to be fine with all that. She eats the hell out of ramen. She has some kind of weird concoction with ramen and peas and corn and all that kind of stuff that she puts together.
I like ramen, but does it kind of sometimes remind you of, I don't know, like a freshly bathed dog? Just the taste or the smell, it's all connected.
Yeah, I've never eaten wet dog.
I've never eaten wet dog either. And before people start asking,
right.
No, I don't lick wet dogs, but your smell and your taste buds are connected.
Yeah.
And sometimes it tastes like...
So it almost smells like feet, maybe, the powder that they use on the ramen. Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Just depending on the ramen, too, I'm sure.
Okay.
There's not all ramen's created equal.
I'm not sure I've had ramen since college. So it's been a while.
Denny's loves it.
Yeah, I get it. And I know it's very popular. It's really all those kind of different Asian soups. My wife loves that stuff too.
Yeah, I swear, I'm not licking dogs.
Yeah, she is all into it. So they have their own little bit of food. But Cannon, that's part of it. He eats out a good bit. And so trying to stay up on that and what he's spending there. He's at his girlfriend's a lot, so I think he eats there as well. So she has her own food. And then the Queen doesn't eat. It's crazy. I mean, she weighs like 70 pounds now.
What is she? She doesn't snack on anything?
Like a little bit here and there, but it's random. Like we went out to eat on Sunday and she ate a little bit, but she's still doing those GLP-1s. And so she just really hardly ever eats. I don't know when she eats. So she had a little bit. Got to tell you the thing I am really into, man. They got those Brussels sprouts at the place we go to. Got that little edamame.
They are good. I never thought I'd like Brussels sprouts. I don't know why I turned into Jodie Foster.
They're fantastic.
That's a tough word. That's a tough one for me. There's a lot of S's in Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. But yeah, it was solid. Have you ever had, it's probably not your thing, maybe Denny's is into it. Denny's, you ever heard of crispy rice? My daughter Caitlin got me into that. And it's just like what you would have, almost like a sushi thing, but they take the rice that you would have normally on sushi and they make it crispy, almost like it's a chip. And then they put what would be the sushi. So they'll have like maybe tuna on top. Maybe they'll put a thin little sliver of a jalapeno and then some caviar on top of it. That's what they had. I was like, man, I'm all into that. That is my new thing. Do you have a new thing that you've jumped onto recently that it's like, okay, I didn't ever really eat this before? Because crispy rice and then the Brussels sprouts I've been into, but I found this place that has the Brussels sprouts better than any place I've had.
Asparagus.
Okay.
I've recently gotten into that game. I really love it.
How do you prepare it?
My girlfriend does.
Does she grill it?
She does. She grills it.
Yeah, grilled asparagus is fantastic.
And she'll sometimes put that balsamic stuff on there.
Okay, like a balsamic glaze?
Yes, a glaze. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of vegetables that, are done up real tasty. That is the best thing for me to eat because I don't feel all jacked up and messed up. That's just how I go. Now, I got an email here saying, I just got finished watching the Friday the 13th show where you were talking about people mispronouncing Valentine's, calling it Valentimes. But I've been wanting to know why you all don't correct Virginia when she mispronounces jewelry. The L comes after the E, not before. She calls it jewelry.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you call it V because then it could turn into something.
Yeah, and then she just mispronounces so many words that it would extend every topic by 5 minutes, just kind of getting through that. So I'm like, all right.
Bugler.
Whether it be, bugler, chicken, milk.
Yeah, I almost got on her about milk today, but I go, I'm going to probably derail the call.
Right. So you just, they're right. Everybody else, you just kind of overlook it and keep going. So she says, yes, and tell Jbird 1,000% is only correct when something compounds or grows. Outside of that, nothing can be more than 100%. Okay.
1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to stop kind of doing that because, people would say 110% and it drove my wife crazy. She's like, can't be 110%. It can only be 100%. I'm like, okay.
It's more for just to kind of put an exclamation point.
Right.
That means I'm going 1,000,000%.
I'm going as
bro.
much as you can do, and then I'm going over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like these speakers go to 11.
Exactly. Can't go to 11.
Spinal Tap, yeah.
Can't do 11.
Well, why don't you just, make, 10 the loudest and then just make it. And it's like, because these go to 11. So, yeah, some people just want to be able to throw in that last 10%. Somebody asked, they said, Kev, you're eating rice? What's going on? Yeah, I don't do the strict keto anymore. I will dabble every now and then with some, just because there were some things that I'm like, I look at the carb value. I try not to eat junky carbs too much, but yeah, carbs are good. I like carbs.
It's my favorite thing on the planet.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to eat. I love them. They make me feel happy.
Yeah.
I get excited for them.
Probably my favorite food grouping too, to be honest. So I was like, I'll dabble. I mean, like I said, I don't go crazy with it. I'll have a few little pieces of spicy or the crispy rice, but that's it.
I love bread.
Mm-hmm. And Michael said, hey, guys and gal, 30 years back when I was in school, we showed our teachers respect by keeping eye contact and listening to them when we were spoken to in class. We respected our elders. Back then, got respect back, mess around, and that was an invitation for all heck to break loose. And it got us an ass whooping that we never forgot. SA schools were so much better back then. Youngsters did not have tech. Google was the Britannica Encyclopedia series. Yeah, we were talking yesterday because Virginia had sent us a video guy that was testifying before Congress about how cognitive abilities for the first time have declined in a Generation Z. Whereas for the previous 60 years, our cognitive abilities always exceeded those of our parents of the generation before us. And they said it aligns perfectly with the introduction of screens and technology to the educational system. And then today I saw the story that many parents are sending that laptop back to school saying, I don't want my kid using a computer to learn. I want them to go back to writing everything down by hand. So paper and pen, that's all we're doing from here on out.
I've even heard just taking a hardback book and something physical in your hand, reading it instead of reading something off a screen can help you. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that. I know Denny's is big into that.
Yeah.
Reading a book in your hand.
Yeah, it did really jump out. And yeah, it would give me pause to think if I had the kid in the right way. Now, whether I'm going to make it a point with my son Cannon, I don't know, because his handwriting is atrocious. Maybe it would help him out. But I don't know, man. That kid is just, with each kid, I just realized like some kids spurn education. Like my oldest son loved it. He loved reading. He was all about it. He did well in school. He did great testing. His twin, she did not really love school too much. And Cannon just, it's like if you put him down to look at a book, like his eyes will catch on fire. Like they burn right out of his forehead.
Yeah, I don't think I loved school until my final round in college where I was paying out of my own pocket. And I go, you better learn this shit, because you're going to waste all this money again.
Yeah.
And I kind of got in. I mean, I got into it. There were certain topics that were fun to listen to, but I was older as well.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. I'm in a place now, if I had the kind of attitude towards education now that I did in high school and college, it would have been radically different. But I just think the way you mature, it is kind of odd. It's kind of tough that sometimes when you really want to latch on to education, you're well past your educational years. And maybe it's just because it's not something you have to do. It's something that you want to do. And you realize there are things I'd like to know more about.
Well, if you want to learn something, I always call that a healthy obsession. You're going to learn everything about it. When you were a little kid, you loved what you were playing with. So you learned everything about it because you were into it. You're not going to not pay attention to something you're into and love. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Math was always tough for me. Oh, shit, man, math.
Yep.
I couldn't keep my attention to it.
So the one thing that I've learned with the parenting is I try to observe what my kids' skills are and then just plug them into things that I think they're going to like and that they'll also jump on. Because when you do care about something, then you will invest your time and you'll want to learn the ins and outs. Look, if it has to do with sports gambling or gambling, my son's going to learn it.
Exactly.
He will take the time and he knows everything about it. Like that's just what his world is and that's what he wants to know. So I've told him and he is good at math and all those kind of things. I'm like, all right, well, statistics and those kind of things, that's where you need to be putting your focus to learn that kind of stuff.
I did stats in college and dropped out really, really quick in that class because I went in there and the first thing they were teaching you, like one out of 33%. I'm going, all right, I got this. This is pretty easy shit. And then they started going in Klogman's theory and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I was happy I got my grade up to a D.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was not my thing. And I knew that, so I think sometimes you just have people for me, math, it just, the numbers is crossing my head. It's like I have a disability about, when I look at numbers. And
I felt like math kind of betrayed me when they started throwing letters in there.
Sure,
as a
absolutely.
kid, I go, what the shit is this?
Yeah, I didn't get any of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm much bigger a fan of saying, okay, what are your natural abilities and your interests? And then how can you get into the most lucrative career field for your abilities that's out there? And that's really what a guidance counselor is supposed to be. I don't know if guidance counselors ever did. Did your guidance counselor ever do shit for you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever really guiding me to any kind of path that was beneficial.
Yeah, I remember not having a good time with my guidance counselor.
I remember just being a waste of time.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it ever. I was like, okay, there weren't a lot of options and it'd be take, this out of 2 different classes. That was it. So it didn't really go very well or very far for me. Now, Engineer Keith wanted to specify here. He said, you had a listener who wrote in to say that Outer Range is good, and they are right, but they canceled it. So unless you want an unresolved ending, don't watch. I use a custom GPT I made in ChatGPT that is instructed to not spoil things when I ask about shows, but it also will be instructed to look up if a show was finished or it got canceled without resolving the storylines.
Okay.
Yeah, that's smart because there are shows like that. There was one that I got all into and kind of enjoyed it. It was about Bitcoin in Miami. And it had a good cast, and it was crazy. Somebody died at the end of this one season, and they had the body, and they're traipsing off to the beach with this body. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then they cancel the freaking show, and you'll never know. It's like those characters just, all right.
Yeah, there was one on HBO. It was the one with Woody Harrelson, and it was the murder special. For some reason, the name's escaping me. But it was a really great show, and it seemed like they just didn't renew it. And then the other one, Mindhunter, that was a great show that they didn't do anything with. And they had such a great BTK storyline going.
Right.
And it never got resolved. And it pissed me off.
Yeah, those kind of things happen. So, yeah, that's why almost anymore with a lot of shows, if I hear it's great, I don't jump on the first season. So I'm like, let's see where it goes. Let's let this thing kind of resolve itself. Thankfully, I've got so many other shows to watch. I'm like, I don't need to jump on anything right now. I'll just bide my time and wait to see what the hell happens. Now, a show that I've watched before, you ever had that where you watch a show and it's been a year and a half since you've seen an episode and you're trying to figure out if you actually care to watch that show again?
Yeah, that's how I could be sometimes with The Sopranos or even Game of Thrones. I caught up with Game of Thrones at one point where I was watching it in real time, but then I wanted them to stack up.
Okay.
I didn't want to wait, and I got so confused with all the new old guys that came in. I go, was he in the last episode?
Right.
Fuck.
So The Night Agent Season 3 is coming out on Netflix on Thursday. And I know I saw Season 1. I can't remember if I saw Season 2. And I can't remember if I liked Season 2. It must have been good enough that they made Season 3. So as this is coming back, I'm like, do I need to watch Season 2? How do I get caught up with this? And do I even care? That's the only thing that I have a hard time with. It's almost like you have to fall in love with some of these shows all over again and remember why you were watching it in the first place. And then sometimes you put it on and be like, you know what? I don't think I loved this show last time I was watching it.
That's what happens. You fall out of love. Some shows you hate them out of the blue.
Yeah. You're like, okay, this isn't what I originally loved.
What usually starts for me is there's a storyline introduced and I can tell I'm not feeling it. I'm like, all right, it's just one storyline. Hopefully that we don't, go too far in that. And they'll keep doing it over and over again. It gets bigger and bigger, that storyline. And I'm like, nah, I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let me see here. Got anything else that we got going on? It's going to be kind of a busy week. I don't know if do you watch any tennis? I know your dad's into it.
It's so weird to say that. I just got back into watching tennis because that's one of the things I'm excited about after I get my hip replaced. I want to start playing tennis again.
Okay. Well, they've got the Delray Beach Open that is going on, and my father-in-law loves it, so my wife watches it, so tennis is always on. They had a guy named Tiafo. He was playing last night in kind of a little bit of an exhibition match. And then they've got some decent players that if you do watch, you've got Tommy Paul playing tonight, Casper Ruud tomorrow, and then on Thursday, Taylor Fritz is going to be playing.
Yeah, I was watching some tennis stuff, and I forgot about this story. Remember when Monica Seles got stabbed during a match?
Vaguely. Was that 90s, early 2000s, something like that?
I believe it was the 90s, and she was a big-time tennis player, maybe even number one at the time.
Yeah.
And she's walking, off the court and sits down, and her back is to the stands, and this guy comes up and takes a knife and stabs her in the back.
Isn't it insane?
All on television.
That could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Right.
I don't think she was ever the same again.
No, I don't think so. I mean, how could you ever sit with your back to the crowd again? I don't think you could.
I don't think I would ever have my back to anything again.
Yeah, no.
A stabbing?
I'd sit down and I'd be like, bring me a chair into the middle of the court. I'm going to keep an eye on all you bitches. See what's going on. Yeah, so the Delray Open is just things, and they've got things like the grand tasting tonight. I'm going to the Burgers, Bourbon, and Brew tomorrow night. So they got an event every single night. It's a nice little social event.
Ralston on a school night.
I know. I'm like, I got back-to-back school nights. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, woof. I got an event on Thursday night as well. So I'm like, I hope I make it.
You are going to be so tired.
I probably won't drink, and I'll be more tired than Virginia.
Oh, yeah, with 100%.
Yeah. She'll be bouncing back looking all fine. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Apparently, she's shutting it down by 3 p.m. today. She's going to get up early tomorrow. She's going to drive back, and then she will be with us again on Thursday. So we're going to get to that. So hang in with us this week. It is a crazy, busy, long, fun, and awesome week. Thanks for being here. Send us those emails, mail@kvjshow.com. See you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.